The governor of Michigan, Ubersturmführer Gretchen Whitmer, we should call her Gretchen Whitmer, she just got struck down. The Michigan Supreme Court voted 7-0 that these incredible restrictions, she has kept Michigan under lockdown forever, right? And these incredible restrictions she's had, they said they were unconstitutional. So she says she's not going to let that stop her. It's cut 6.
After the Republican legislature sued to take away my executive authority, this past Friday, the Michigan Supreme Court struck down the statute under which I issued executive orders to save lives and protect Michigan families, our frontline workers, and small businesses. As a result of the court and legislature's action, our COVID-19 cases will very likely go up. There will be uncertainty, disruption, and possibly greater risk to our economy, more people quarantined, and more deaths. The ruling does not mean that the orders I issued violated the law. Although I disagree with the conclusion, the court held the law was unconstitutional, meaning the legislature never had the power to pass it in 1945. In fact, the court made clear that I interpreted the 1945 law correctly. And the ruling does not mean all the protections we have will go away. I have additional powers that I will use to protect our families from the virus.
I just, as a public service here on the Andrew Klavan Show, I just like to translate that into the original German. Say, speaking of which, Andrew Cuomo, they're starting to try and lock down New York again, which is a disaster for people, a disaster for businesses, a disaster for children, a disaster for everybody in New York if they do this. But Andrew Cuomo's especially focused on the Jews, because the Jews, keep my mic open. I'll translate this into German simultaneously.
I have to say to the Orthodox community tomorrow, if you're not willing to live with these rules, then I'm going to close the synagogue. I have had a 30-year relationship with the Orthodox community. It goes back to my father. I have a very close personal relationship with them. This is the last thing I want to do.
I'm sorry. I just don't believe him. It's the last thing they want to do. They are addicted to this. And the thing is, in the moment, any given decision might be right or wrong. And that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is it deteriorates the culture of freedom. It's the same thing with social media. Social media sees that Biden is ahead and they're afraid the Democrats will get angry at them. So now they've gone nuts censoring people. They're censoring Mark Levin. I mean, before I said this at the time, they were censoring kind of radicals, guys on the outer fringe. And I said, we have to stand up for these people because eventually they're going to be censoring me. They're going to be censoring Ben. They're going to be censoring Mark Levin. That's what they're doing on social media now. Partly to protect themselves, partly because they're leftists too. And it's not just bad because it actually censors people. It's bad because it helps to deteriorate the culture of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is just a piece of paper. It's just writing on a piece of paper. It will not stand unless people understand that it has to be inside them. The First Amendment has to be written on your cells. It has to be flowing in your blood. And they slowly erode it by making you feel like, if I go on Twitter, they'll take my Twitter account away. If I say the wrong thing, they'll take me on Facebook. They'll block me. They'll put a warning on me. That's what they want. They want that fear. They want that fear constantly. And, Biden knows this too. Biden is part of this, and he may not even intend it. He's just part of the culture that promulgates it. Here he is talking about what he's going to do when he's president about masses, cut 24.
I was glad to see the president speaking and recording videos over the weekend. Now that he's busy tweeting campaign messages, I would ask him to do this. Listen to the scientists. Support masks. Support a mask mandates nationwide. Require masks in every federal building and facility and interstate travel. Urge every governor and mayor to do the same. We know it saves lives.
Yes. The fear. This is why Bernie Sanders knows this. This is what Bernie Sanders says, cut 22.
It is no secret, no great secret at all, that Joe Biden and I have differences of opinion. But I also want to tell you that in fairness to Joe, if his campaign proposals were to be implemented, they would significantly improve the lives of tens of millions of working families and would make Joe Biden the most progressive president of the United States since Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Fear, conformity, progressivism, they all go together. They go hand in hand, and that's what they're selling, and that's what they're living. They don't have to do it on purpose because it's part of their own culture. It's in their minds. It's in their blood, and that's where they want it. They want it in your mind, and they want it in your blood as well.